gonna talk about something so random. So a couple days ago, on Saturday nightish to Sunday, I felt like I was having a rebirth experience. I felt like my soul has been released from this body. No, I wasn't having like an out of body experience or anything. It was just all in my head, like that phase between sleepiness and actual sleep, so like between waking and sleeping. And in that phase of sleepiness, of falling asleep, I was having that experience. Like I was seeing it in my head, how my body kind of like let go the soul, and the soul kind of emerges, and there were sparklers of gold dust being released into the air, and from from the bottom of my feet up to the sky, the night sky. And it felt like I was in a universe, like in a nebula somewhere. Nebula, is that the word? Nebula, in that smoky nebulous I don't even know how to pronounce it, universe bit. Like it's very spatial. And then I felt like a lot of release was happening, and then it felt like a rebirth, but a light rebirth, not a damaging, violent rebirth. It was like a release of sort. And in this particular release experience, I can feel like as if that I am communicating with the universe, as if I was, you know, communing with gods. And when I say gods, I just means like spiritual entities. And they just look very wispy. They don't really have a particular norms, like forms. They're not particularly humans. Although if I imagine them to be human, they probably look more like fairies rather than humans, with pointy ears. But I could just feel like they're spirits, and I could feel them more in terms of colors rather than tangible physical bodies. And they're just like, blue, red, and they feel warm. They don't feel like anything. It just feel light. And then I would feel like when I was standing, releasing all this gold dust into the air, as if like I'm releasing a lot of the heavy materials that I have been accumulating by living on Earth. I was also receiving gifts. Like I was receiving gifts of health again, blessings again, of abundance again, of lightness of being again, of power again. And the gift that was being given to me was like in a dust forms as well. It's more like, like here, this is our blessings. And then it's just like sprinkled down to my, spirit. And it was as if like there was an exchange happening while my gold dust is being, being kind of spread upwards. It's being given to the gods, and then the gods are giving something back to me. And it was a very beautiful like exchange. And I know, as I said, it was like so weird, but at the same time, it was so logical in my head. That felt like this was the right experience. Like this was the next step. Like feels like this is the natural stage of, I don't know what, spiritual initiation. No, not initiation, spiritual something. Like it was just something really natural, but at the same time my human brain, the one that is skeptical and filled with existential dread and nihilism, and so pessimistic about life, my brain, my cynical brain, also noticed like this is a great imagination, this is a great fantasy is happening in my brain. Like my brain is having a great time doing this, but is it real though? Like I know it's not real, and as if intangibleness, but experientially, was it real also? Like, is there a significant, or is this just like my brain is just having too much things to think about, like too much stress. So it needed to conjure this fantasy like experience so that it can reduce its stress, because the brain is basically a very sophisticated instrument that will balance itself out to make sure it keeps its homeostasis in check. Anyway, that's what happened during, and I did not sleep until 7 a.m. In on from like on Saturday to Sunday. So that day, I basically stayed up all night and was in that hovering between that state of being awake and being asleep. And I only slept for like 5 hours on Sunday morning before I have to meet up with my friend. So that was an experience.